The search is on after a series of robberies overnight, and one suspect may be a child.
The children need the park.
A new decision has been made for Harborside Park in Chula Vista. What parents have to say.
A grassroots campaign that is trying to fire SDG&E.
A new push for a nonprofit utility.
And it's the busiest time of year at the post office. We are there live for the holiday shipping rush. It's 6 a.m. on Wednesday, December 13th, and you're up with CBS 8.
Thank you so much for joining us here on this Wednesday at 6 a.m. I'm Eric Connert.
And I'm Netta Irampur. Yeah, so glad you're with us here. And it's going to be a bit cooler, cloudier day today. Let's check in with Evan Narani. How's our forecast looking?
It's still comfortable by all means, but yes, we've got some fog to start off the morning.
Okay.
Temperatures in the 60s as opposed to the 70s. So the changes that will bring us back toward more sunshine, more warmth, they're going to start tomorrow. Today is kind of that final day where we incorporate a bit more cloud cover and where we see those temperatures in the 60s. So 65 along the coastline. Keep in mind these temperatures are in most cases right around average. It's just that the month of December has treated us to very comfortable conditions out there. There's the fog off toward the Ramona area. That's the bulk of it. Down toward the South Bay, Imperial Beach, and Otay Mesa at 5 and 6 miles. I'll send things back to you too.
Evan, thank you so much. And now we have this breaking news that we want to bring to you here. Right now, San Diego police investigating a series of robberies around San Diego County overnight. One of the suspects may be as young as a child.
And we just spoke to police about all this. They tell us it's unclear if any of these are connected, but they all happen around the same time. First happened in the Stockton neighborhood around 11:30 last night. You see the map here. Police say 3 suspects took a register from a store. About 10 minutes later in Mira Mesa, 2 armed suspects took money from a register at a 7-Eleven. Then around midnight in Barrio Logan, 3 suspects took 2 registers from a store. After that, 2 suspects took money from a register in the Lake Murray area. In the latest case, one of the suspects was described to be between 10 and 15 years old. You're asked to call Crime Stoppers if you have any information.
Yeah, you see the crime spread out across our county. Right now, we are getting new information after Chula Vista's City Council agreed to reopen Harborside Park.
Now, this has been closed for over a year now. CBS 8's Regina Yarita is live in Chula Vista. And Regina, what are you learning here this morning?
Yeah, good morning, guys. Well, we're learning that City Council agreed to reopen Harborside Park, but not until certain safety improvements are installed at the park. Now, this has been an issue that's been going on for almost 2 years, but that park, like you said, has been closed for over a year, which is part of the problem because many parents didn't want that park to close. Of course, they wanted their kids to play in a safe place, and they believe that that wasn't the case once that park turned into a homeless encampment, but nonetheless, they wanted that park open. So last night, they shared those concerns at the Chula Vista City Council meeting.
We don't need that additional housing there. I think the city should keep its commitment to the children.
So after hours of listening to public speakers, the City Council unanimously decided to reopen Harborside Park. That reopening also comes with more fencing, better lighting, and a park ranger station. Now, this all started back in 2022 when parents were concerned and upset to send their kids to an elementary school that was right next to a homeless park. The Chula Vista Elementary School had complained about the numerous illegal activities that had been encountered at that time. Chula Vista has been conducting homeless sweeps for years at this park, but homeless advocates say this only hurts those who are unsheltered, especially because they believe the city hardly has any shelters for people experiencing homelessness. Now, the city then decided to shut down the park and cleared out the homeless encampment. At one point, council suggested building affordable housing at the park or even a recreational center. But after major pushback from parents who wanted a park, the city council has agreed to reopen Harborside Park. Now, back out here, city council is expected to have a formal vote for this reopening, and it's planned for early January. And of course, we will follow up once that happens. I should also mention that that park is right next to a county health and human services agency building. So that was part of the argument. And of course, now that these safety improvements have been planned to get installed at the park, they are planning that there will be more changes. So of course, we'll follow up on that as well. So that's all I have for you. I'll send things back to you guys.
Regina, thank you. A plan to make it easier and faster to build housing in the city of San Diego is moving forward this morning. The City Council just approved the Mayor's Housing Action Package 2.0. It will allow more homes to be built near transit stations and will give incentives to developers to build homes in underutilized commercial areas. More than 100 people spoke at this meeting, and we heard from both sides.
You're destroying single-family neighborhoods when you create and scatter 8 to 12 stories throughout the neighborhood.
I urge you to vote yes for HAP 2.0 because your vote is the difference between making San Diego accessible for all its community members or further denying them the dignity of affordable housing.
Mayor Gloria released a statement right here saying, quote, "The lack of affordable housing is central to many of our city's top challenges, particularly homelessness and sky-high rents. This series of reforms will boost the supply of homes and reduce the cost of housing, help our businesses recruit and retain talent, and put more hard-earned dollars back into the pockets of everyday San Diegans."
Today, the man accused in a crash that killed 2 children will face a judge for the first time. 20-year-old Angel Salgado is accused of leading police on a chase Friday night and crashing into another car on the 805 near 43rd Street in Mountain View. 2 brothers, an 8-year-old and 4-year-old, were killed. Those young boys. Salgado will be arraigned this afternoon at the downtown courthouse. And this morning, former San Diego State punter Matt Araiza will speak out after he was dropped from a civil lawsuit that accused him of rape. The woman originally claimed it happened at an off-campus party in 2021. Araiza did admit to having consensual sex with the then 17-year-old outside of that house. The woman agreed to dismiss Araiza from the lawsuit that she filed last year, while Araiza agreed to dismiss his defamation countersuit against her. No monetary damages will be awarded to either side. The lawsuit against 4 other former Aztecs players will continue. Last December, the DA declined to file criminal charges in the case. Now at 9 o'clock this morning, Araiza will take questions from reporters about the settlement and his plans to resume his career in the NFL.
A National City woman once named Teacher of the Year has been ordered to stand trial for allegedly having inappropriate relationships with 2 Lincoln Acres elementary school students. A detective spent most of the day on the witness stand going through graphic details of what allegedly went on between Jacqueline Ma and the 2 young boys. Text messages found on one of the boys' iPads was read aloud.
"You know what I'm talking about, Miss Ma. Oh my God, do not forget my underwear is in your pocket. John Doe 1, I'm at my grandma's. Sorry, I was doing some SUM. Miss Ma, that's okay, just making sure you hide it."
Were there other photos? Ma will be back in court in January.
And now this just in, wholesale inflation barely changed last month. It went up just 0.9% in November.
Yeah, so this is the producer price index that tracks inflation before it reaches you, the consumer. Economists say this is another sign inflation is cooling across the economy. Now, these numbers coming just hours before the Fed is going to be announcing a decision on interest rates. That is expected at 11 a.m. our time.
And we do have a reminder here for you, those of you who enjoy going tide pooling. Hey, today's another day for it. We're seeing king tides along the coast, all because of the pull from the new moon. So high tide today at 8:25 a.m., a little bit later than yesterday. And now in the afternoon, you can check out those tide pools during low tide. And I love the timing of it because it's right when school gets out.
That's right, yeah.
Take the kids out there.
Late 3 o'clock hour today,
perfect.
into the 4 o'clock hour tomorrow. High tide coming in just about 2 hours or so. So possibility, the chance there for some minor maybe boardwalk flooding or parking lot flooding. But right now we don't have any indication that we're moving in that direction. We do, however, see that high tide is about 7 feet above sea level. So pretty incredible to see out there. That's going to be 8:25 a.m. today, 9:05 a.m. tomorrow. Going into low tide, that's the time for tide pooling, 3:53 today and then 4:38 for tomorrow. So your perfect opportunity to get out and enjoy that marine life. Remember to pack it in, pack it out. Don't be leaving any garbage with you. Don't be taking anything from that water with you, like we talked about. Today's forecast shows temperatures are going to be a little bit cooler by the afternoon than what we've seen for the majority of December thus far. 60s are going to be pretty common. We've only had a couple days where our afternoon highs have been in about that mid 60 degree range, let alone cooler than average. If we get to 65 this afternoon, we'll only be about a degree cooler than average. Inland, upper 60s are going to be common. Partly cloudy conditions throughout the day as we see that fog clear up. today is going to look very similar to yesterday as we start to see a transition away from onshore flow. Onshore flow, remember, directs all that cool and cloudy weather, that moist weather all along the coast. So that is mainly ocean water that is headed toward the coastline. And then when we see those winds shift in direction, offshore winds develop, we start to see warm, dry air come from the east. So we are going to see that switch occur as we head into tomorrow. That's going to help to boost our temperatures for Thursday through Saturday. Going to be a nice warm stretch out there. Temperatures climb, skies clear up a bit, and then into next week, a better opportunity for cooler, cloudier weather. Monday and Wednesday right now hold the best opportunities for rain in the forecast, which we'll dive into deeper detail in just a few minutes. Let's take a look at your border weight or at your traffic as we head out on the morning commute. So far, things are pretty quiet out there on the roads. You can see how there are no major crashes or collisions according to CHP. A little bit of yellow there on the screen around the Ramona area because of fog that starts off the morning commute. We're also seeing that the Coronado Bridge is quite a bit slower to kick off the morning, something that we'll be keeping track of as we head through the day. Border wait times, 110 minutes at San Ysidro Port of Entry. Otay Mesa Port of Entry going to run you about 90 minutes, so an hour and a half in total. Back to you.
Evan, thank you so much. And still ahead here, do you drive a Tesla? We know a lot of people do these days. Why nearly every car they sold in the U.S. was just recalled overnight.
That's going to impact a lot of folks. Plus, the new campaign to replace SDG&E with a nonprofit utility. Are you behind this? And how you can see a meteor shower today.